Good morning. Myself Nikhil Amnerkar. Today we are going to study the topic drugs acting on renal functions. In that we are studying diuretics and antidiuretics. On completion of this topic, you will be able to recognize the difference between diuretics and antidiuretics, classify various types of diuretic drugs in different classes, understand the mechanism of actions of diuretics, and be familiar with the concept of antidiuretics and examples of antidiuretic drugs. Let us first clear the concept and difference between diuretics and antidiuretics. Diuretics are the drugs that increases the excretion of water in urine, whereas antidiuretics are the drugs that reduces the excretion of water in urine. Now we will move on to the classification of diuretics. Class 1 is weak diuretics and it is subclassified as osmotic diuretics, example mannitol, urea. Another subclass is carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, example acetazolamide. Class 2 is moderately potent diuretics, example chlorothiazide, hydrochlorothiazides. Class 3 is very potent or loop diuretics, example furosemide, ethacrenic acid. Class 4 is potassium sparing diuretics, example spironolactone, amiloride. Class 5 is xanthine diuretics, example caffeine, theophylline. And class 6 is acid forming salts, example ammonium chloride. Now let us reflect and think on this question. What would be the target organs for the drugs acting as diuretics and its probable mechanism? Take a pause and write your answer in your notebook. Considering that you have completed your writing, we will move further and discuss the mechanism of action of these diuretics. The target organ is kidney, wherein the smallest unit of the kidney, that is nephron, whereas various diuretic drugs show their action on different parts of the nephron. Here you can see drugs like acetazolamide, they acts on proximal tubule and blocks the carbonic anhydrase enzyme and thereby increases the sodium hydrogen carbonate excretion and thereby the water excretion. Some drugs act on the descending limb like osmotic diuretics, they increases the water excretion. Some drugs like loop diuretics they act on the loop of Henle and blocks the sodium potassium chloride co-transporter and thereby they increases the sodium excretion, potassium excretion and chloride excretion. Some drugs they act on distal convoluted tubule like thiazide diuretics and they blocks the sodium chloride transporter. Some drugs acts on the collecting tubule and they antagonizes the aldosterone receptor and thereby increases the sodium excretion and potassium excretion. Now we'll move on to the antidiuretics. The drugs that prevent the process of formation of urine are called antidiuretics. For example, antidiuretic hormone like vasopressin, then chlorpropamide, clofebrate and carbamazepine. Thank you for listening.